Hi there. Thank you for joining us on this series, which we have tagged Down the Aisle series. The aim of this is to equip singles with relevant knowledge and tools for preparing for marriage. I am Chidi Akunna.
And I am Victor Akunna.
All right, so we've decided to take questions from a private group and deal with them on this platform for the benefit of more people. And today we'll be considering questions to ask before saying I do. So, who are we? Our mission is to raise prototype romantic and intimate couples whose families will transform the society. We do this in different ways through speaking engagements, seminars, workshops, coaching sessions, counseling sessions, talk shows, retreats, and we have a lot of resources available on our website www.foundationforfamilyaffairs.org. Please make our time to visit.
Okay, we've broken down our mission into 3 point agenda. And the first one is this to help singles become the kind of people that can attract quality people into their lives. Most times, people talk out there and say, oh, find the right person to marry, find the right person to marry. We kind of flip the message around and say, become the right person and you attract the right person. Because, like the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. So, once that happens and they become married, we will also help married couples build romantic and intimate marriages. The purpose of this is this. What's the point of getting married if you're not going to enjoy your home and have fun? All right. So after that is done, we'll now help married couples to build families that will transform the community. Because we believe that marriage is not an end in itself. It's a means to an end. We believe that every family should make an impact in the community. All right, there are different spheres of influence. We have a sphere of influence in charity, we have education, we have science, we have business, we have art. You choose different areas where you think your family can make a contribution and begin to transform your society.
Okay, so we'll get on into the lesson. Our questions. We've categorized this in two ways: questions to ask yourself and questions to ask your spouse. So we'll be dealing first with questions to ask yourself.
Now, most people are always focusing on questions to ask the person you're going to get married.
Yes.
But we think before you ask the person you're going to get married to, there are questions you need to ask yourself. Are you prepared? These are questions that will help you look within. And we've itemized it. This is not an exhaustive list.
Yes.
We've itemized a few of them that will just judge, more like get the ball rolling, like I said.
Yes. So the first one we'll be looking at here is, am I able to look after myself?
Good question.
Okay, for a man, he would be asking, do I have the finances?
Absolutely.
Do I have the kind of thing it takes to look after a woman?
Absolutely. Before you can talk about looking after somebody, getting married to somebody else, you must be able to look after yourself. I think it was Socrates that says that the most difficult leadership is ability to lead yourself.
That's right.
First, lead yourself. Have you been able to lead yourself? Are you the kind of a man who cannot make up his mind? Any major decision you need to get involved with different people? Oh, that is fine to seek counsel, but not abdicating your responsibilities. Are you able to look after yourself? Are you able to fend for your own needs before you cannot talk about creating a family?
Okay, I mentioned about the man earlier.
Yes.
Now talking about the woman, it is important to highlight that when we say, when we ask, are you able to look after yourself? It's not just limited to finances. Okay, you like the example you used about leadership. It's about can I look after myself? Can I look after my emotional self? Can I look after my psychological state? Okay, because when I am able to do this, then I might have built the capacity to look after somebody else. Okay, am I stuck in my emotions, roller coaster of emotions, and it's difficult for me to even understand what's going on with myself. I was speaking to some ladies at some point, and I said to them that sometimes, after a long day, you need to also understand how do I wind down? What kind of things help me wind down? So at that point, because it's not just enough to get home and lapse into a state because you don't even understand what's going on with you. So not until you get to that point, then I don't think you should be looking at what you can do for somebody else.
Now, the next question is, do I have what it takes to be a spouse to the type of a woman or man I want to marry? Working with singles, most times, most people are focusing on what do you want to, for example, maybe one will ask a question like, what do you want in a guy? Oh, I want him to be tall, dark, and handsome. I want him to work in this place. These are very good. We encourage singles to have a list of what they want because if you don't know what you want, then anything will look like it. So the first thing is know what you want. Now, so let's say we ask you, what kind of a marriage do you want? And then you tell us, okay, this is kind of a guy. No, what kind of a guy do you want? You said, this is the kind of a guy I'm looking for. Now, the question we ask is this. That type of a guy, what kind of a woman do you think you'll be looking for? Oh, you'll be looking for this type of a woman, this type of woman. Now, the question is, are you that type of a lady? Because sometimes people, one of the laws of life is you cannot keep what you don't deserve. Let me put it in a different way.
Ouch,
now,
that sounds hard.
Yes, well, that's the truth. Sometimes you see people who win lottery, $10 billion or $10 million. Let me not over exaggerate. And then you check them out many more years later. Like they've gone broke and they've gone back to where they're coming from. Why? They got an investment. They got huge sum of money, but their mental state had not changed. They've not developed competency in managing money. They've not developed competency in spending. They've not developed competency in investing. What happens? The whole money that they got get wasted and they become worse off. So what I'm trying to say is this: if you're trying to attract the kind of man you want and you don't have the capacity to keep and to build a relationship with that kind of a guy, you will not go to be able to keep the person for long.
Yeah. So the next one, am I ready to look after another individual? The thing is sometimes probably for someone who is single at this time, you may have been living alone for a long time.
Absolutely.
There is a level of independence you're exposed to. So in looking out or making that decision about marrying somebody, you need to be asking yourself, am I willing to accommodate another person in my space?
Absolutely.
Okay. A lot of us would need to unlearn because you're so used to it. We worked with singles at one point, and it was a very difficult, a daunting thing that a man had to get used to. I mean, he was used to get up, go to work, come back. So to think that he would be having another person in the house as himself, in fact, it was difficult for him to make the decision of having her share the same bedroom with him because he was just used to his own life. So are you ready to look after another person? Do you have the capacity? Have you stretched enough in your mind to make room for another person? Even emotionally, you can't give what you don't have. So if you're bringing somebody, you're not just bringing someone who would just be a partner. You're bringing someone who you would connect with, who you would reach to into his or her soul. You get to the point of intimacy, which we consider as a point of vulnerability. Absolutely. Where you open up and then unravel your souls, each other's souls. So are you ready to look after another person? You look into this person's soul, you find an ill, you find a flaw in there, and you're ready to help this person walk through the process of becoming.
Absolutely. Now, the next question is, how do you react when things don't go your way? Now, a lot of us guys, while we were single, were used to making our own decisions. Now you have to decide. You can't just make your decisions. You have to decide with your spouse. Both of you have to agree. All right. So there are times where the best ideas may not come from you. Are you willing or mature enough to let go of your own ideas? Because what we often try to recommend is it doesn't matter whether it's your wife or yourself that brought the idea, as long as the idea moves the family forward. The interest of the marriage and the interest of the family should supersede individual interests. And that's one way of building a good home. So, are you in that state where you'll be able to, if things don't go your way, do you just stonewall or just throw tantrum or what exactly? Because if you're bringing somebody into your space, these are very important adjustments for you to be able to make.
Yes, and then the last one we'll deal with in this category is, what type of marriage do I want? You should be able to get to that point where it's clear in your mind the kind of marriage you want. Is it a marriage where we love each other? Is it a marriage where um, this person has some level of freedom to do what he or she wants.
Absolutely, because one key thing is this. Sometimes you talk to singles, you ask the lady, create the kind of marriage you want. You ask the guy, create the kind of marriage you want, because during our coaching, and you find out that they want completely different things.
Yeah.
Now, two people cannot work together unless they are in agreement. So, what we need to do, one of the importance of this question is, once you need to ask yourself, know the type of marriage you want. Once you know the kind of marriage you want, then you can say, this lady I'm interested in, does she have the qualities? Does she have some elements? Can I see something that will help me build this kind of marriage?
Yeah.
Because if she flips this around as well, she has the kind of marriage she wants. Are you that kind of a guy that can help her create? Because at the end of the day, every marriage is unique. You know why it's unique? Because the individuals in it makes it so.
Yeah.
So you must have clarity about the kind of marriage you want before you can now begin to talk about who you need to build such a marriage.
Okay, so we will get on to the next one, which is questions to ask your spouse. And the first question in this category flows on from the last question in the other category, which is, what type of family do you want to have? You know, the last time we said, what type of marriage do you want? Now, asking your spouse, what type of family do you want to have, gives you an idea into whether this person fits into my picture of what a family should be in the first place.
Now, the next question is, what is the most important thing to you? Now, people always make time for priorities. You know, sometimes you ask people, can you do this? Oh, sorry, I'm so busy, I don't have time. Oh, can you do this? We always have time for what is priority. Now, one of the ways to understand the person you want to get married to is to understand their priorities. Their priorities will tell you about their values. Their priorities will tell you about their future. Because whatever you focus on is what you become. Their priorities will tell you about their friends. Their priorities will tell you about the way they make decisions. If you study people's priorities, you will know where their lives will end up. And then you'll be in a better position to ask yourself, is that where you want to go?
Okay, so what are your religious beliefs? You're asking this person. I believe that people are guided by their by their belief systems.
Absolutely.
People are guided by their belief systems. So what does this person believe? And the truth about this, you know why this is critical? Some people don't even know what they believe.
Yeah.
These are things that are operational in the religion they practice, but they do not realize that they're guided by this.
This is so fundamental because religious beliefs or our beliefs influences the way we spend our money, influences what you prioritize, influences what we give to, influences the causes that we give to. So some of these questions you may not be able to ask them directly. You will have to look at the person and observe and pick some of this, because sometimes people don't even know their fundamental beliefs. They're just, because beliefs function at the subconscious level. So it just direct us more like an autopilot.
Yeah. So do you have a regular source of income? Now, the essence of this is not to spite anyone, because in fact, I think we've worked with people whose income is such that in 1 month they earn so much, and then they have dry months. Okay, and then these are people who are probably on contracts or something. So the essence of this, do you have a regular source of income? It's not for you to nose into what this person earns or whatever, but for you to begin to consider areas you can discuss. Absolutely. What you can talk about. Okay, if this is how your income comes in, what do you think we can do going forward for the kind of family we want to build? So we're not impacted by this. It's just something that brings you together and helps you discuss, so there's clarity in that area.
The next question is, do you have debts? And how much? I mean, that's a very uncomfortable question. But if you go into a relationship with someone, your lives will be intertwined.
Yeah.
Whatever debts I have, my wife will inherit it if she comes to my life, and vice versa. So it's good for you to find out, does he have debts? Does she have any debts in her name? Why? Because the moment you get married, this will impact you. Now, again, that doesn't mean, I have debts
and then you run away.
Now, this may be an opportunity for you to look at, to make yourself useful, to make yourself add value to it. Like, okay, how did you acquire this debt? Because you need to find out if it's some consumer debt where the person is just buying things they don't need to impress people they don't like. that's a different case. But if probably something went wrong or a bad business, now you can understand. Then you can begin to come up with a plan. Now, after you come up with a plan and the person refuses to follow the plan, that's a red flag. In other words, probably they are comfortable, because some people are comfortable in some situations, and you can't help someone who wants to remain in the same situation. That's not what you can do.
I think we flagged up these last two questions about regular source of income and if there are any debts, because finance, to say, causes a lot of problem in marriage, and it's not one of the things you want to start dealing with in marriage. These are things that should be talked about, addressed. You should have a plan around it before getting into marriage. Okay, so the last one is, describe a time someone annoyed you and how you handled it. Okay, this I like this because it helps you see the person on another level. And the truth is, like we said earlier, you might need to observe things. Now, if you ask someone this question and he or she says, "Oh, when I get upset, I smash things." It's a trigger. You need to wake up. It's something to be alert about. Okay, and then you talk about it, and you observe things going forward. How does this person behave when upset? Does he or she charge at you with so much emotions or rage? Okay, so these are things we think you need to be conscious of just before you walk.
All right, so
down the
this
aisle.
just a brief summary of some of the questions we looked at. There are many more questions that you can come up with. So we'd like you to write your own questions that you've asked, that reviewed a lot, that helped you to avoid problems, or question you think singles should ask before they say I do. In the comment section, write your question, and we're going to, acknowledge that. All right. So now we have what we call intimacy builder diagnosis. Now, the importance of this is this. Before you can begin to build intimacy with people, many people have built intimacy with people that ended their lives. Before you begin to build intimacy with someone, you need to go through we will recommend this to you, where we can be able to diagnose, why have you not been able to get married? What is keeping you? How come you keep you keep attracting some kind of guys or ladies over and over again? What exactly is happening? How come when you're in a relationship you always feel that you're going to lose the person, or you feel unworthy? What exactly is triggering these same repeated experiences? All right. So if you want to enroll for this coaching program, we want you to send us an email at
info@foundationforfamilyaffairs.org.
All right. So what we do is that we'll have a free 30 minutes, more like just a diagnosis, to know what the problems are. All right. So from there, we can now see if we are going to work together, or just to give a brief support. Now, when you come on this program, we have a lot of goodies. First thing is this: we'll help you declutter things that have been preventing you from attracting the right people in your life. We have testimonials. We can't go on and sharing that here. All right. So 2, you have a free book that will come with it. One of our books we will call Relationship Red Flags, that help you identify what are the red flags. What should you see in a relationship that will make you say, you know what, hold on, or Amber, ready, or go, whatever it is. All right. Then we will work with you. We have a platform where we're going to create an accountability, because sometimes people start out this and they get overwhelmed. So we've come up to the accountability system that will help you walk through the different phases. There are different phases: working on your self-belief, working on your self-esteem, all right, creating the kind of marriage you want, becoming the kind of person that can create. It's going to be very intense. And all the people that have gone through this, they've had, a lot of them are married today. All right. So thank you so much for joining us on this session.
Have a great time until we come your way again.